Hey guys, it's Rufus. For those of you that don't know, the IGL is the in-game leader. However, that is a misnomer because a lot of what the IGL does is out of game too. As the IGL, your job is to lead a team in-game, and that can be by calling adjustments, calling strats, and directing the team. They keep a team on page and essentially help keep structure in-game. I've been reading some books about leadership, and I've been the IGL for every team in the past, so I've got a lot of experience and knowledge to share on this topic. The IGL is the most important role in a team, and that is because leadership is the most impactful role on a team. This is especially true on attack. In fact, teams that are good on attack are usually good because of their IGL. Structure and leadership is what wins on attack. It's much harder to frag your way through attack like you could for defense. And so, in order to be an effective IGL, there's a lot you need to know. But understand that there are no bad teams, only bad leaders. The first part of being a good leader is obtaining the qualities of leader. Besides the general skill and knowledge required to have the role of IGL, you need 3 different qualities. 1. You must have extreme ownership. In the business and military, whenever something goes wrong, it is leadership's fault. It is the exact same everywhere else, including Siege. If you lose a round, it comes back to leadership, and I will explain how. Even if you do lose rounds though, you're not a bad leader, but every mistake does come back to leadership, and here's how. If a push fails because of a flank, it's the leader's job in order to make sure that their teammate knows to make sure the flank is being secured. If somebody is not watching a cam, or somebody didn't shoot an air jab or whatever, it's the leader's job to make sure that happens. Now, if that problem continues to happen, it is the leader's fault because he's not making sure that that problem is being fixed. If you lose a rush, it is because of poor communication, and it is the leader's job to help improve that communication. If a teammate goes off a strat, it is the leader's fault for not making sure that they stayed with the strat, and they need to make sure that they don't veer off. No matter what, it is the leader's job to improve and correct every aspect of a team. The leader needs to make sure that their team is performing at the absolute best, and you need to make sure that you're taking every measure in order to achieve that. 2. You need to be decisive. If you can't speak clearly and make decisions, you will waste time and cause confusion. 3. Control your ego, or your ego will control you. If you have an ego, you cannot effectively lead. 4. Learn to be both a leader and a follower. Trust your teammates and follow them when they step up. This builds trust and lets your teammates feel that they have a voice. For example, say your teammate's like, "Hey bro, look, this spot is open, let's rush in here." And you're like, "Alright, sure, let's do it." And so your team follows through because you trust your teammate and he was correct, the area was clear. And so you can really lead a lot better when you let your teammates help out with it. Now that we've gotten the general stuff out of the way, here are some important tips for performing as an IGL. On a lot of teams without a coach, the IGL will make the strats. Now, when it comes to bringing structure to a team, the strats are extremely important because everybody needs to be on the same page. This means you need detail so that everybody can understand exactly what they are doing throughout the round. And they will also need to understand what the team is doing. It is your job as a leader to make sure that everybody is on the same page. If they don't understand something, it is your job to correct them, and your fault if they don't understand. On the screen, I'm going to show a sample of how I make my strategies. For attack, I will have steps for each part of the attack, and for each step, there is 1 bullet point for each attacker. With this, I can make sure that each person knows their positioning throughout the entire round. And while yes, it may seem complicated at first, with a decent explanation, it's fairly simple. And this is what makes me such a good IGL. My team is always on the same page, and by setting these standards for strategy and dry running, you can build a very structured team. In short, structure is important. However, you should also try and keep your strategy and direction as simple as possible. The more words you say or type, the more difficult it is to memorize something. Being concise and simple is huge. Many people talk way too much in-game, and it just makes everything confusing. You cannot stutter or be slow. You need to be quick, clear, and articulate. However, when it comes to drilling this strategy into your teammates, you need to make sure that they not only understand what they're doing, but why they're doing it. You need to encourage questions, and you need to let people challenge you if they think something should be done differently. So basically, you just need to be open-minded. If somebody doesn't understand the why, they won't believe in the strategy, and therefore they won't be able to perform their best. A team needs confidence not only in their leader, but in their strategy. When it comes to making calls as the IGL, I can't give much guidance here. My best advice is to watch Pro League and try to understand why the pros make the decisions that they make. Understand different setups and understand different attacks. In order to make a good call, you need to have knowledge. But first, what is a call? A call is going to be the strategy the team is running, a call for any rushes, a call for adjustments, and anything else the leader needs to call. In order to know which strategy to run, you need to understand which is going to work best against your opponents. And in order to understand that, you need to understand how strategy works in this game. It's a long process, but if you don't study, you won't be able to compete. In order to improve as a leader, I highly recommend reading books on leadership. 2 books I recommend are Extreme Ownership and The Dichotomy of Leadership. These books are written by Jocko Willink and Leif Babin, both of which were Navy SEALs. They give examples of how to be a good leader, and they explain several principles on how to be a good leader, some of which I've briefly explained in this video. There's so much to being a leader, and I cannot explain all of it in this video, so I recommend you read some books in order to really improve and to truly understand why I'm giving you the advice I'm giving you. If you want to check that out, link will be in the description below. Now, if you want to follow my Twitter, Discord server, or Patreon, that link will also be in the description below. Now, that's all to say for this video, and if you learned something, give the video a like, and if you want to see more content like this, then subscribe. Toodles!